Hi folks. Today we're taking a look at MSR's range of tents. Before we dive into the specifics of the products, however, there are some topics it's worth discussing to get an idea of what the category looks like and why MSR does things the way that it does. The first thing to discuss is season ratings. Much like sleeping bags, tents are often given season ratings to indicate how appropriate they might be for certain conditions. With backpacking tents, season ratings are decided by a tent's resilience to weather conditions, specifically wind and snow loading, though of course snow loading tends not to be such a consideration in the UK. Regardless of when in the year you or your customer is going to be using the tent, if the tent is only going to be used in still conditions, you needn't worry with a four-season tent. By contrast, if you're going to be going out even in a summer storm, you'll need a four-season tent. The size of tents can also be misleading. Tents will almost always be categorized by the number of people that will fit inside. However, this usually needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. Often a so-called two-person tent will fit two people just if they don't mind getting very comfortable with each other, to say nothing of where their kit will go or what will happen if one of them needs to get up in the middle of the night. The advantage that MSR has here is that it has Thermarest as a sister company. All MSR tents therefore have enough floor space for at least one wide mat and regular mats for the other occupants. In addition to that, MSR tents are all built with high, wide ceilings and steep sides for as much usable interior space as possible, as well as lots of porch space. We now move on to hydrostatic heads. You may well be familiar with the concept of hydrostatic head from waterproof jackets. Essentially, it's a measure of a fabric's ability to withstand water pressure. It's often thought that the higher the hydrostatic head, the more waterproof a fabric is, but in reality, things are a bit more nuanced. With tents, the hydrostatic heads are much lower than in waterproof clothing because tent fabric can be held under tension, helping shed water. It's easy to think of this like an umbrella. MSR tested some umbrellas actually a few years ago and found hydrostatic heads as low as 400, which is a far cry from the 28,000 you'll find in some brands of waterproof jacket. When choosing fabrics for tents, you need to strike a balance. You can increase hydrostatic head fairly easily, but this comes at a cost in terms of weight, packability and tear strength. MSR have chosen the fabrics carefully here, and rather than opting for very high hydrostatic heads, they've made the tents incredibly easy to pitch and tension well. Other things to consider, aside from the typical specs, weight is often less important than livability and ease of use. The only way to get a feel for this, of course, is to try a tent out. If you would like to try an MSR tent, then please get in touch with your local Pro Agency's rep, as we have demo pool available for precisely that reason.